call to order our special projects for today, meeting for today, and we are going to proceed with the agenda that's approved. We need to approve of our agenda. So I ask, first of all, if we can approve the minutes from our last meeting. I need a motion.
You need to approve the agenda first?
Yeah, approve the agenda, yeah.
Make a motion to approve the agenda?
Okay. You made the motion?
Yeah.
I'll second.
Okay.
All in favor, let it be known.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, the next thing will be approval of the minutes of the last meeting.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve the minutes of last meeting.
Okay, I second the motion. The last meeting agenda is approved. Let me start by actually making a few remarks about what we are trying to do and why it becomes so important to our community. I probably lived in this community longer than anyone in here, and I know the past. Moving the monument is not necessarily all about the past, it's all about the future. I rode past the area that the monument will be moved to yesterday to take a look, to see exactly what we're talking about. And as a retired teacher, I would love to be in the classroom with a group of young people and let them decide what they think about the reason why it was first progressed and so forth, because I know that their ideas will be entirely different from everybody in here. And I know also that where that monument will be moved to, it will give our public schools an opportunity to go out and take the children, write lesson plans, and talk about what they think. Because none of us was here in 1911 to know exactly what people thought about the reasons why they were placed here in the very beginning. The only thing that we can do is actually draw conclusions from what we heard or what we have read. I think if you take a good look at during that particular time, more monuments were built between 1890 and 1951 than any other time. And I think all of us know what was happening in our country throughout the South during that particular time. So again, I'd just like to thank our commissioners, I will tonight, for the opportunity to take a look at what we're trying to do and trying to look at how we can make things a lot better. And remember, a lot of times when you think you're doing the right thing or the wrong thing, the thing that you think is so wrong or so right sometimes appear to be so right. So if you take a look at what is happening, what I thought about, I'm gonna stop talking in just 1 second. When I looked at the floor down here in this building, all the commissioners that put that stone in the floor, name was engraved with a machine. There is one name that was etched in there with, looked like some tool, looked like someone took a carving tool and etched that name in there. And apparently, someone thought it was not proper in the beginning to put that name in there in the beginning, and somebody came back and said it's right. And the name that's etched in there is the name that I hear, and the only name that I noticed down there is Hugh Kell. So think about what we do, and if we can make our community a better place, let's make it better for all of us. At this time, Mr. Manager, I think it's appropriate for you to share with us where we are at this time with the monument.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. One of the issues that we wanted some documentation for is the Nixonton Rotary Club, and we wanted something in writing from them acknowledging that they didn't oppose the monument being located beside their site. And we did, in your packet, receive a response that the members did approve Mr. Warren Wiedrich's plan to move the Confederate monument to the property, which is located next to the club's properties, and no one at the club had any objections to that. We had also discussed the county paying for the cost of dismantling the monument and reasonable transportation costs to the new site, with the other party being responsible for installing the monument at the new site, which is typical with what most jurisdictions have done in this situation. Our low bid at that time was $28,000, but that only included transportation of the monument from the 4 cannonballs up to the top of the monument, not the large base at the bottom. Mr. Weidrich expressed a desire to also get the base, because what he wants to do is sync the installation at his site when we transport the monument, and that base would help him reinstall the monument on his site. So he had also expressed a desire to use Croft and Crane out of Portsmouth, Virginia, due to his familiarity with the company, and also with him assuming a portion of the cost. So I just let him know that our low bid is $28,000, and we could look at potentially doing that if he offset that cost. So Croft and Crane actually came on site approximately 2 weeks ago, and was supposed to get a quote in by today. I have not received a quote, but I wanted to go ahead and update the committee on that. Mr. Weidrich also was going to try to be here, and I don't see he's not here today. So that's really all I have. We are making progress, but it's just he's trying to sync. When we move it, he wants to reinstall it at the new site. So we need to get all that information together to be able to move forward. So.
Are you familiar with the area that he's talking about moving it to?
I haven't been by there in a while, and I probably haven't looked specifically if there's a place on the site, but I can get to the.
I have a copy of the area on my cell phone. I did take a picture of that.
Okay.
I think the one thing that will have to happen is parking. It's going to have to look at how people can go there and park. I think that the parking is limited at this time, if I'm correct. I think that you can't stop a bus, what have you down there, because they would have to park directly on the road. So I think that he's going to take care of paving the area and so forth and make it accessible to the public.
Well, yes, he's going to take care of the installation, and one of the things when we're able to get all of this information, it would be good to make sure that he's here so that he can respond.
That's a good.
Right.
That's a good.
So.
And the people that are thinking about the memory of people in the past, I think it would be a better opportunity to visit the monument and so forth where you're talking about locating it than it is right now. I really do, as far as the people learning exactly what what it was all about. Right now, you can't park out front. I have trouble parking here right now. So school buses would have, well, they probably would have some challenges and so forth, bringing children down here right now. So, but I think it would be a blessing to our community if we follow up and actually move it. It would help us have different ideas about what happened. I can tell you one last story that happened over the weekend. There is a gentleman from here that worked at Syracuse. He is Dr. Wright from Elizabeth City, who went to P.W. Moore High School, which is the all-black high school. He called me. He saw an article in the paper about the movement of the monument. And he called me and he said, Mr. Ferris, I think that's a great idea. He said, I want to tell you what I was told when I was in high school. In high school, one of the coaches had a field trip down here. They walked down here and they walked in the hallway, and he said, well, you see that etching on the floor right there? He said, that's a story. So he went on to say that. The teacher said, okay, so that's a story. He said, but I'm gonna take you outside. I'm gonna take you outside. So he carried his class outside and showed him the monument. And what he said to them, he said, well, that monument out there was put there not to help us at all. And he concluded with the fact that it was put there for the wrong reason. So I'm not trying to judge anything. I'm just telling you some facts about what I have learned and what I think would be a better for all the people in this community if it was moved to another site. So I think the commission, this group for actually deciding that it should be moved. What else is it that we can do today? Mr. Warren is not here.
Mr. Chairman, I would recommend that we hold on any action until we get this, the quote in and get Mr. Weaver here to answer any questions that the committee may have.
Okay.
But really, the last few, well, other than whatever questions we have,
Yeah.
and maybe parking comes up on that.
Yeah.
It's really the quote for the crane.
Yes.
And that's it. I mean,
That's
kinda-
it. That's it.
You've
So,
kind of flushed out everything else
yes,
since the last meeting.
absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely. And I can, I can find out and have the response on parking and access, without him, having him here at the next meeting. But clearly, we need the quote, and I need agreement from him that he's going to assume
Paying for that.
Yeah, the pay beyond the 28,000,
Right.
because that was our low bid. So if it's whatever the cost is above that, yeah.
Okay.
So, that's it.
That's it. Yeah, and make a motion to adjourn the meeting and we,
All right.
unless you have anything else to add.
The only thing I have to add is I love Hugh Cale, right? He was the first Republican commissioner. So, yeah, love it. All right. I make a motion we adjourn.
Say that again?
I make a motion we adjourn.
Oh, that's seven motion. Okay, meeting adjourned. Thank y'all for coming.